Assalamu alaikum. This is Chiri Ayawali from Rehan School Teachers Training Institute, Batch 24 Level 1. And today my topic is what is empathy and why is it important in leadership. So ChatGPT is with us for discussion.
Mm.
Hello ChatGPT.
Okay. Walaikum assalam. So, for your topic, here's a short and clear take. Empathy means trying to understand another person's feelings and perspective, not just sympathize. In leadership, it matters because it builds trust, helps people feel heard, and improves communication and teamwork. A simple example: if a team member is struggling, an empathetic leader tries to understand why instead of jumping to criticism. It's one of the core traits of effective leaders because it supports strong relationships and better decision making.
What is how does an empathetic leader understand the feeling of team members?
They listen actively, ask open questions, and pay attention to tone and body language, not just words. They make space for people to explain without rushing to fix. Sometimes they mirror back what they heard to check understanding. That helps folks feel seen and understood.
Okay, can empathy improve teamwork?
Definitely, when people feel heard and respected, they share ideas more freely, take healthy risks, and collaborate better. Conflicts get resolved sooner, too, because the leader actually hears the concern instead of just the noise around it. That builds trust, and teams with trust actually just work better. They share credit and responsibility more smoothly.
What are some examples of empathy in the workplace?
Sure. Say someone seems burnt out. An empathetic manager might check in with the simple, "How are you doing really?" and adjust workload or offer flexibility if possible. Or if someone's idea gets rejected, acknowledging the effort and explaining the decision respectfully. Even small things like genuinely asking and listening count as empathy in action.
How does empathy help resolve conflicts within a team?
Well, it slows things down just enough to hear what each side is actually upset about. When people feel heard, they soften up. So the conversation can shift from blame to problem solving. The leader can reframe the issue, highlight shared goals, and guide each person to name needs instead of accusations. That turns a fight into a conversation about solutions.
Can empathy increase trust between leaders and employees?
Let me check. Yeah, it can bring them closer in a good way. Leaders who show empathy build stronger relationships without losing boundaries. Employees tend to trust more, speak up more, and feel safer sharing ideas or problems. So, distance doesn't have to mean detachment. It can mean respectful closeness with clarity and compassion side by side.
What is the difference between empathy and sympathy?
Empathy is trying to feel what someone else feels, like imagining their perspective and emotions. Sympathy is more feeling for someone, like saying, "I'm sorry that's happening." Empathy leans into understanding, while sympathy leans into concern and care. Both matter, but empathy usually builds deeper trust because it guides action.
How can I become an empathetic leader?
Start by listening more than you talk. Ask open questions, and notice how others prefer to communicate. Reflect back what you hear to check you got it right. Show respect for their effort, even when decisions go a different way. And be consistent. Empathy is a habit, not a script. It gets stronger with practice.
Can empathy improve employees' motivation and productivity?
Yes, when people feel understood and fairly treated, they're usually more motivated. They put more energy into the work because they trust the environment. That trust cuts down on quiet quitting and presenteeism. People don't feel like they're just called. Productivity rises, not just because people try harder, but because there's less friction, fewer silent resentments, and clearer communication. Empathy makes it easier for folks to bring their best to the table.
So, what should a leader do if two employees have different perspectives?
Let me check. Listen to each without interrupting. Invite, question, find shared goals, and guide a fair decision with clear reasoning.
How does active listening demonstrate empathy?
It shows you care enough to focus, not fix right away. You paraphrase to check understanding, notice feelings behind the words, and resist the urge to interrupt. That patience signals respect and understanding.
Can you give a real life example of an empathetic leader?
Sure, imagine a team member misses the deadline. Instead of snapping, the leader asks what got in the way. They learn it was a family issue. So they work out a realistic timeline and maybe offer resources or temporary support. That builds trust while still moving things forward. Hmm.
Okay, can you explain that what can we learn from it?
Patience and curiosity. Jumping to judgment usually closes people off, but asking and really listening opens them up. That's the heart of empathy.
Okay, how does an empathetic leader understand the feelings of team members?
An empathetic leader listens without interrupting, reflects back what they heard, and asks open questions like, what's been hardest for you? They notice tone and body language and acknowledge the emotion, not just the task. That helps people feel seen and understood. Yep. It builds trust, reduces friction, and makes collaboration smoother. So teams communicate better and solve problems faster.
Okay, thank you so much, ChatGPT, for being with us and having a thoughtful conversation. See you again on the same channel, The Wisdom Talk, with another topic. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Take care.